If you're relocating and selling your home, you're usually in one of two situations. You're either still living in your home while preparing to sell it, or you've moved out and are managing a vacant or somewhat vacant property from a distance. In both cases, the most challenging part usually isn't deciding whether to sell. After all, you've already made that decision. The hardest part is knowing what to do next and how to execute it correctly. And you certainly don't need another agent interview during an already stressful time, which would add more opinions and muddy the waters. Most sellers I meet with have already spoken to 2 or 3 agents. They've heard different pricing strategies, different timelines, and different perspectives on the market, and none of it feels decisive. That's because most agents are asking permission to work with you. Very few are willing to tell you exactly what you need to do to sell it. What you need is a plan and someone who will help you run it. Because in this market, the sellers who win aren't the ones who just put a sign in their yard. They're the ones who prepare correctly for this market. I'm Kristen Vorschan, and I specialize in helping sellers who need clarity, structure, and results without unnecessary stress. The sellers I work with want the details handled, the timeline managed, and the outcome, which is the money that you walk away with at closing, protected. And if this feels overwhelming, that's because it is. You're making a high-stakes decision on usually a tight timeline with your most valuable asset, often while juggling a major move at the same time. You're worried about leaving money on the table, missing the right time to list, or dealing with those last-minute surprises that always seem to come up when you're already stretched so thin. What you really want is pretty simple. You want the details handled, you want the timeline managed, and you want the outcome protected. I don't list homes and hope for the best. I've built a curated strategy called Ready, Set, Sold, and it's a punch list, a step-by-step execution plan designed to sell your home with as little disruption and as much leverage as possible. Every seller wants top dollar for their home, and that doesn't happen by guessing. This is a structured plan with clear timelines that shows you what to fix, what to skip, when each thing needs to happen, and how to prepare your home to attract strong qualified buyers, not just looky-loos. Recently, I worked with sellers who were relocating out of the area, and they were just overwhelmed by the sheer magnitude of packing up their home, moving to a new one, and getting their property ready for market all at the same time. I created a clear preparation timeline, a punch list, if you will, that coordinated things like contractors coming over to paint, addressing overdue repairs, installing cost-effective new fixtures, arranging the deep cleaning and the staging once it was ready for market. Because they weren't available locally, I acted as the project manager, coordinating which decisions mattered, which didn't, and handled the details so nothing stalled. They didn't have to chase contractors, stress over decisions, or wonder what comes next because we already mapped it out. They focused on moving into their new home. We prepared their home that we were listing to meet those buyer expectations, had a very strong week of showings, and secured a contract quickly. When inspection items came up, we handled them strategically with minimal out-of-pocket costs, and the home sold at full asking price in 30 days. The sellers were thrilled, and they told me it could not have gone smoother during what was probably one of the most stressful times in their life. No money was left on the table because preparation happened before the listing. Stress stayed low because expectations were clear. Decisions were easier because nothing was left to chance. And that's what happens when selling isn't haphazard. If you're selling your home and you want a clear plan without guesswork or pressure, this is your next step. Schedule a seller strategy call with me. Stop interviewing. Stop guessing. Stop Googling. I'm going to walk you through the exact preparation needed on your timeline, and we're going to execute it so that you sell your house without leaving money on the table so you can move on to what's next. Smart moves start here. List with Kristen.